I'm Ansu Kaplan, and you're watching Regio TV, the Overstrand's online TV station. We start off our weekly program with good news about the COVID pandemic. Yes, I did say good news.
I'm standing in front of the Hermanus Provincial Hospital. And on Monday, the COVID ward here was empty. Not a single patient. I believe at the moment they're treating 2 positive cases here. On Wednesday, the total number of active cases in the Overstrand was 135. That's down from 192 the previous week. Understandably, the Provincial Department of Health is cautious about this downward trend and would not be drawn on it. COVID is with us, and it's going to be with us for a while. It's not going anywhere. We've lost 19 people so far in the Overstrand, and we will probably lose more. There will be spikes, but there's also hope. Hope that we are actually getting through this. The Western Cape was the first province in the country to be hit hard by the virus. We had to watch on mainstream media how the other provinces almost gleefully commented on the rising figures in the Western Cape, the dramatic increase in COVID-related deaths. Our medics were the first in the country to deal with this new unknown threat. They had to learn through their mistakes. Our provincial authorities do not get the credit due to them. Our Premier, Alan Winde, impressed with his work rate, his continuous and transparent communication. As far as I'm concerned, this should be the man leading the DA. Unfortunately, from what I understand, he doesn't want the job. Our Provincial Department of Health, also those in the Overberg, did a brilliant job. Not once, like in many of the other provinces, did we have to worry that our health system was going to be overrun, that it would collapse in the face of the onslaught. The Western Cape government was proactive, they improvised and changed strategy when needed, and the rest of South Africa learned from them. While the national government and other provinces are now considering making COVID-related contracts public, we already have such a system in place. Hence, there is very little or no corruption in the Western Cape health system. Our province did well, and it needs to be said.
Well done to our Premier and his team. While there's reason to be cautiously optimistic about the decline of COVID-19 cases in the province, the lockdown continues to wreak havoc in our economy.
During the past week or 10 days, a series of media reports on 2 issues stood out for me. The one is the brutal farm murders at Hartswater. I believe this was a turning point for many. The second was the exposure of the widespread network of corruption and patronage in the ruling party. Time will tell whether these were indeed watershed moments. In the meantime, everybody wants to know, what is the president going to do about this? The Regio team knocked on a few doors and asked local politicians what their advice for the president would be.
Asseblief, meneer Ramaphosa, genoeg is genoeg. Maak oop die ekonomie nou. Ons mense is besig om dood te gaan van die honger. Wees realisties. Ons is almal groot mense, ons kan ons eie gesondheid oppas. COVID-19 is verskriklik, maar ons weet wat om te doen, meneer die president. Maak die ekonomie oop, laat ons mense werk, laat ons mense kos op die tafel sit. Ek vra jou.
I think the advice we want to give the president, 1, get rid of corrupt leaders from the cabinet level up to local government, because we believe our people are hungry, and when people are hungry, people resort to different other avenues. So get rid of corruption within the system, because it's killing our people. Our people are hungry, and we want him to cut the red tape for people to get assistance from government. We see SASSA, food parcels does not get to the relevant people, and we are saying within his own system there are a lot of blockages, red tape, cut the red tape. But the major issue we are worried about is the allegation on corruption at senior level, and people are not scared to indicate or to show what lavish car they are driving and so on. But we are saying, President, we are hungry, cut the red tape, cut corruption within the system, and if you do that, I believe we will be better placed as a country.
Ek dink dit gaan baie moeilik wees as Suid-Afrikaners om die land weer op te bou, op te tel waar dit is. As ons ook sien die chaos rondom land grabs, land invasions, dat die president is stil as dit kom by ons by die plaasmoorde. You know, we're talking about our food chain that's been compromised. There's a lot of things that I can say I would like him to address, but it's really time that he puts South Africans first.
The problem is BEE. How can we run a winning country if we are still subject to racial preference? We, especially in these circumstances, when we're looking for suppliers to the government, for instance, we need to look at the best product at the best price from the best supplier. Somebody who has a track record, regardless of race. And if the president wants to stop this corruption, nip it in the bud, I suggest he makes an example of some high-placed person who has been compromised in this corruption. The president and his cabinet have to be beyond reproach.
I don't believe that even if I could give Cyril Ramaphosa any advice, there would be any point to it. I believe that the corruption is systemic in the ruling party and in the other big parties. But if I did have to give him some advice, and he could actually do something about it, it would be firstly to dismiss anyone who has had corruption charges against them or has been in any way involved in any corruption. So whether they were found guilty or not, if there's a flag there, then they should be dismissed. The second thing is that he should make all government tenders from local municipalities up to national government to do with COVID. All tenders should be publicly available. The people that apply for the tender should be, all the tender documents, all the applications should be in full publicly available so that the people can see exactly who pitched and who got the job and why.
The recent relaxation of restrictions in the tourism industry will hopefully give the industry a much-needed boost. And now local business and whalecoast tourism have joined forces in an innovative campaign to get our visitors back.
Well, this was started by business. I think the business people in town, all tourism related and non-tourism products, decided that it was time to just make our voice heard and join the larger collaboration of what's going on in South Africa at the moment in the tourism industry. And one of the messages we wanted to send out was very positive, the fact that Hermanus is now open. Whether it's only for interprovincial domestic tourism, we are getting ready and gearing up for the international boundaries to be open in a few months.
So dis die Cape whalecoast is open. Ons launch van hier af van Hermanus, maar dis regtig om vir die wêreld te sê dat die Cape whalecoast en al sy dorpe en al sy klein plekkies, sy hidden gems, is reg om die wêreld weer te ontmoet en weer te connect. Alle maatreëls is getref om seker te maak dat ons dit veilig doen en in 'n baie verantwoordelike manier doen, maar ons kan nou nie meer wag om mense terug te kry hier en die besoekers nie. Die walvisseisoen is reg, ons het al walvisse gekry. Vir meer as 4 maande was toerisme en akkommodasie heeltemal gesluit. So ek dink ons almal besef die behoefte om weer kennis te maak en weer verhoudinge op te tel.
Imagine the speed of your internet connection going from 4 or 6 megabytes per second to 50 megabytes or even more. That's 5 or 10 times faster than at the moment. Fiber optic networks are currently being installed across the Overstrand. Sections of Gansbaai and Hermanus are already connected, and now work in Kleinmond has started.
Ons is nou besig om fiber in te lê in die dorp. Ons het met die munisipaliteit al 'n jaar en 'n half terug al begin beplan en vergaderings gehad oor en weer om die reëls regulasies om nommer 1 by te woon en nommer 2 is om te sorg dat ons comply. As jy dit nou so kan stel. So ja, dit is 'n proses wat nog redelik lank gevat het om alles bymekaar te kry en die kundigheid obviously ook bygekry. En dit het ons nog gebring op by die punt waar ons aansoek doen het vir die Master Whale wat nog gekry is 2-3 maande later.
Wat beteken dit vir gewone mense? Is dit vinniger internet?
Yes. die standaard ID moet vergelyk met IDSL. IDSL se maksimum is maar 4 meg. Wireless kan opgaan na 10 meg, IDSL kan ook opgaan na 10 meg toe. En dis omtrent 10, 20, 30 meg, maar dis nie konstante 10, 20, 30 meg nie. Wireless is baie stabiel, maar die fiber is natuurlik heel iets anders. Die kan nie vergelyk nie.
Hoe vinnig is die vesel net?
50 megs net tot 'n gig. 1000 megabits kan hy hardloop. En dis ongelooflik stabiel. Vinnig, ek met dit te gee as jy 'n fliek wil download, minder as 5 minute kan jy so ding kom met vader.
En julle het nou al van die punte in die dorp gekoppel, soos byvoorbeeld die sparsentrum en die skool.
Ons het begin met die projek aanvanklik 2 maande terug toe ons te begin het. Deur die lockdown periode het ons gewerk en ons het die vader aangelê in die skool toe. Ons het vir die skool gratis 50 meg per sekond om terug te gee in die gemeenskap, dis 'n plaas om dankie te sê. En ons het toe 'n lyn aangelê na die sparsentrum toe. So sparsentrum het nou al reeds 2 koneksies. Waar die een op die oomblik 100 meg per sekond is. Ons het die kapasiteit tot 'n gig daar. En nou is ons besig om in te werk die dorpse kant toe.
We now move on to the local newspapers in the Overberg and what they focused on this week. Johannes Vroneman gives us his valuable insights.
Vir dese week se koerante het maar heel wat misdaad in. So kom ons kyk 'n bietjie na die Overstrand Herald, die 82-jarige wat in haar huis oorval en vasgebind is. Die Hermanus skenk ook aandag aan misdaadstories. 3 bejaardes van die Overberg was die afgelope week slagoffers van gewetenlose misdadigers, so skryf die Times. Die Times dek dan ook die misdaadsyfers wat bekend gemaak is. Increase in contact and property crimes for Kleinmond. Maar natuurlik sal die Overstrand Herald daaraan ook aandag skenk en daar's 'n paar interessante feite wat uitkom in hulle berig daaroor op bladsy 7. Byvoorbeeld dat kontakmisdade het toegeneem tot 243. Nou is dit niks, die syfer niks beteken nie. 10 jaar gelede was daar 127. So dis 'n basiese verdubbeling daarvan. Seksuele misdade het min of meer dieselfde gebly en so word die verskillende tipes van misdade bespreek in hierdie berig. Jy kan gerus daarna gaan kyk. Goeie nuus is daar daarom wel ook. Toerisme is weer aan die gang, die gastehuise is oop, die gebied is lieflik hierdie tyd van die jaar. Kom gerus, ons wag vir julle, so sê hulle vir ons. Nog 1 of 2 stories uit die Herald uit. Ek het ook gehou van die storie oor die skoonmaak van die lagoon of die strandmeer. Lagoon can breathe again. Mense het daar ingestuur om 'n bietjie skoon te maak. Dit was nodig geweest. Mense moet soms maar 'n bietjie help om dinge daar reg te kry. Nog 'n storie uit die Hermanus Times wat ek net nog wil verwys is dat Horsteners moet eerste kry. Dis 'n aanhaalteken storie. Mense wat in Horsteners wat wag vir behuising. Nou die berig handel oor Tertius Simmers, die Wes-Kaapse minister van menslike nedersettings wat verlede week hier in ons omgewing was. En natuurlik probeer verduidelik het hoekom hulle nou nie vir almal kan huise gee onmiddellik nie. Daar's ongelukkig mense wat al 15 jaar wag. En dit is baie moeilik om daardie mense dan ook gelukkig te hou met die versoek dat julle moet asseblief geduldig wees, want hulle is nou al 15 jaar geduldig. 'n Feit wat ons egter in die oog moet hou, is dat die provinsiale regering nie die geld het om behuising te skep nie. Daardie geld kom van nasionaal af en hulle kan maar net werk met wat hulle het. Hulle kan wel beter werk daarmee of slegter werk daarmee. Kom ons hoop hulle doen dit goed.
In our weekly business segment, we travel to Gansbaai, where we spoke to Jean-Ray Duplessis from Plaaslik at Gansbaai. We love the idea of this new website. Young people embracing digital technology and not only creating income for themselves, but also for the community.
Plaaslik het Gansbaai is eintlik ons lockdown baba wat nou so half 'n kleuter word. Die idee het gekom, ons het gesien vreeslik baie mense begin ewe skielik op Facebook klim. Weet jy, ou mense wat altyd by die markies uitgestal het en hulle het half, jy kon sien hulle probeer hulle produkte iewers verkoop en hulle weet nog nie hoe lekker werk dit aanlyn nie. So toe kry ons hierdie gedagte om kom ons begin 'n aanlyn platform. In geval, ons word bewus van hierdie klomp mense in Gans baie wat die mooiste goed maak. Daar's tannies wat die mooiste treie brei. Daar's in dieselfde erf is daar 'n vrou wat die mooiste treie brei en net in garage is hierdie oom wat die mooiste voelhokkies doen. En niemand weet van hulle nie. Hulle weet nie net dat hulle nie weet hoe die tegnologie werk om dit aanlyn te verkoop nie. Hulle het nie baie selfvertroue in hulle produkte nie. En nou kom ons en ons sien, wow, dis die mooiste goedjies en ek sal dit verkoop. Ek het self 'n trui by die tannie gekoop want dis net so mooi. So ons het al hierdie mense gaan sien en half uitgesniffel en ons is nog steeds besig om nuus te ontdek. En ons skep vir hulle basies, ek noem dit sommer 'n aanlyn winkelrak. So elke verskaffer kry sy eie rakkie met al sy produkte. So dan kan jy gaan en jy kan dit daar gaan koop en dadelik jy kan aanlyn betaal of jy kan met 'n COD werk en dan lewer ons dit jou af.
That's it for this week. Remember to tune in again next Friday. Please support us by going to our YouTube channel and subscribing. It's free and costs you nothing. Have a good week and remember to wash your hands regularly, wear your mask and keep your social distance. Together, we will beat this virus.